called it the scariest movie ever made, but what they didn't tell you was that The Exorcist may also be one of the most cursed. When it released in 1973, people fainted, screamed, even ran out of theaters. Some said they felt a presence following them home after watching it. But what happened behind the camera was far stranger. Injuries, deaths, and whispers of something unnatural. And trust me, by the end, you might not want to watch it again, ever.
Your mother's in here with us, Karis. Would you like to leave a message?
Fact 1. The set burned down, except for Regan's room. During production, a massive fire destroyed nearly every part of the house set, except one. Regan's bedroom, where all the exorcism scenes take place, was left completely untouched. The fire's cause was never determined, and even director William Friedkin said it felt like a bad omen. Fact 2. 9 people connected to the film died. Over the course of filming and release, at least 9 people linked to The Exorcist reportedly passed away. Actors, crew members, even relatives of those involved, all died under strange or sudden circumstances. It gave birth to the legend that the production was cursed. Fact 3. A real priest performed an on-set exorcism. After the fire and a string of accidents, production got so tense that a real Jesuit priest, Father Thomas Birmingham, was brought in to bless the set. Friedkin later admitted that the crew's fear became part of the film's energy. Everyone started believing something dark had attached itself to the movie. Fact 4. Linda Blair didn't know how extreme it would be. Linda Blair, who played Regan, was just 12 years old. She wasn't told exactly how disturbing some scenes would be, especially the crucifix scene. After filming, she suffered nightmares for months and said she didn't understand what half of the movie really meant until she was much older. Fact 5. The voice of the demon was made using raw eggs and whiskey. Actress Mercedes McCambridge, who voiced the demon, insisted on creating the sound naturally. She drank raw eggs, chain-smoked, and sipped whiskey between takes, even while strapped to a chair, to shred her throat and sound truly inhuman. She later said it left her voice permanently damaged. Fact 6. The cold in Regan's room was real. Those chilling exorcism scenes where you can see the actor's breath, that wasn't CGI, it was real. The crew cooled the set with industrial air conditioners until it reached sub-zero temperatures. They filmed while shivering, and at one point, the equipment froze over from the frost. Fact 7. The Help Me scene used real chemical burns. To create the "Help Me" writing that appears on Regan's stomach, the effects team used a chemical reaction that actually burned the latex on Linda Blair's skin double. You're literally seeing real smoke rise from the chemical heat. Fact 8. One actor's back injury was real and left in the movie. During a violent scene where Regan's mother, Chris McNeil, Ellen Burstyn, is thrown across the room, the rig yanked her too hard. She screamed in pain, and that take is the one used in the final film. Burstyn suffered a permanent spinal injury from it. And that's just the beginning, because what happened after the cameras stopped rolling was even darker. Fact 9. A real murder happened involving an extra. One of the radiology technicians seen briefly in the hospital scene, Paul Bateson, was later convicted of murder and suspected in several others. He became known as the Bag Murderer in New York. Friedkin was so fascinated that he even based his later film Cruising on Bateson's crimes. Fact 10. The Pazuzu face appears for only frames. The pale, demonic face that flashes during the film, it wasn't CGI. It's makeup artist Eileen Dietz in white paint, filmed separately and spliced in for only a few frames at a time. It's so quick that your brain barely registers it, which makes it all the more terrifying. Fact 11. The movie was banned in several countries. When The Exorcist hit theaters in 1973, it was unlike anything people had ever seen. Churches condemned it, parents protested, theaters had to hire security guards. Several countries, including the UK, Singapore, and parts of South Africa, outright banned it. Even in places where it wasn't banned, local town councils tried to block screenings, calling it a danger to the public. In the UK, it was eventually pulled from shelves in the 1980s and classified as a video nasty. For over a decade, it couldn't legally be sold or rented. Fact 12. audience members actually fainted and vomited. Early screenings of The Exorcist caused real chaos in theaters. Viewers fainted, screamed, ran outside crying. Some even claimed to feel physically ill. In one case, a woman reportedly fainted so hard she broke her jaw on the seat in front of her. Paramedics were called to multiple screenings, and one theater in California kept an ambulance parked outside for the entire premiere run. Instead of hiding it, Warner Brothers leaned into it, releasing trailers bragging that people are passing out from fear. Fact 13. Real gun was fired on a set to get real reactions. Director William Friedkin was known for pushing his actors to their absolute limits. To keep them tense and on edge, he allegedly fired a real gun on set without warning before shooting certain scenes, just to capture genuine shock on camera. He claimed it was to make performances feel alive, but the cast and crew called it cruel. Many actors later said the entire shoot felt like psychological warfare, a kind of exorcism in itself. It's a method that would never fly today, but it helped give The Exorcist that raw, uneasy energy that makes every scream feel real. Fact 14. He also slapped a priest before filming a scene. One of the most shocking behind-the-scenes stories is about a moment before filming the scene where Father Dyer comforts Karis. Friedkin wanted the priest's hands to visibly tremble, to look truly shaken by what he'd seen. So, seconds before the take, Friedkin walked up to the Jesuit priest, slapped him across the face and yelled, "Action!" That stunned reaction you see on film? That's not acting. That's a real emotional response. Even Friedkin later admitted it wasn't right, but it worked. Fact 15. The medical scene was more real than you think. The infamous arteriogram scene, where Reagan has a needle inserted in her neck, was filmed using actual hospital staff. And that blood spurting from her artery? Real. It's been called one of the most disturbing scenes, not because of demons, but because of its brutal realism. But just when you think you've heard the worst, the film's post-production took things to another level. Fact 16. Strange sounds were hidden in the audio. Sound designers layered in animal growls, swarms of bees, and reversed prayers to create the demonic voice mix. You might not hear them consciously, but your brain does. That's why the movie feels wrong, even in moments of silence. Fact 17. Friedkin used real exorcism recordings for inspiration. Before filming, the director listened to real-life recordings of exorcisms from the Vatican archives. He said he could barely get through them, but used their pacing and tone as reference for the climactic scenes. Fact 18. The film's premiere was delayed by real storms. When The Exorcist premiered in Rome, something eerie happened. Just before the screening, a violent thunderstorm hit the city, knocking out power in several districts, including near the theater. Locals called it divine intervention. When the film finally started, lightning struck a church across the street that featured a cross on top. The strange timing made even non-believers uneasy. To this day, some fans refer to it as the night the devil came to Rome. Fact 19. Warner Brothers received reports of possessions. After its release, Warner Brothers received dozens of letters from people claiming to have felt possessed or followed after seeing the film. One viewer even claimed the movie made her house smell like sulfur. Fact 20. The composer quit because of the director's demands. Composer Lalo Schifrin originally created a tense, chaotic score for the movie, but Friedkin hated it. He reportedly threw the tape out the window and replaced it with the now famous Tubular Bells by Mike Oldfield. Schifrin never worked with him again. Fact 21. Tubular Bells wasn't meant to be scary. The haunting piano riff that defines The Exorcist was never written for horror. Mike Oldfield said he composed it as a minimalist art piece, not a soundtrack, but Friedkin stumbled upon it and knew instantly, that's the sound of evil. Fact 22. The real Regan survived. The movie was based on the true 1949 case of a boy known by the pseudonym Roland Doe. According to priests who witnessed it, strange words appeared on his body. Furniture moved on its own, and the boy spoke in languages he didn't know. The exorcism took weeks, but he survived, and later claimed to remember none of it. He grew up, changed his name, and lived a quiet, private life. But those who met him said he still avoided anything to do with religion or spirituality for the rest of his days. Fact 23. Friedkin visited real exorcisms while filming. While editing, the director was invited by the Catholic Church to observe 2 real exorcisms. He later said the experience changed his beliefs about evil forever, though he never spoke publicly about what he saw inside the room. Fact 24. The studio used real death photos in marketing. In early press materials, Warner Brothers tried to emphasize that the film was based on a true story. They even circulated blurred, supposedly real photos of victims of possession. When journalists discovered some of the images were taken from real autopsies, public backlash exploded. Warner Brothers quietly pulled the images and destroyed the negatives. Those photos have never resurfaced, fueling another layer of mystery around the film's curse. Fact 25. The film reel itself was said to be cursed. One story claims that a film reel caught fire during a London screening, just as the demon was cast out in the final scene. Projectionists swore it happened at that exact moment. When the new print arrived days later, it reportedly played without a single error.
See the cross of the Lord. Become you hostile power.
So which fact creeped you out the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the legends of horror.